everybody, and welcome to this week's feature teacher. And we are proud and honoured to have with us just a little fella who's just popped in, and of course, he looks so much bigger on the screen, doesn't he? This is the fabulous, the wonderful Mr. Mark Kerr. Welcome, Mark.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Good.
All right.
To see you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
Are you prepared for half an hour of having the mick taken out of you?
Yeah, but it looks so. Yeah.
Cool. We just thought we'd set the tone.
I feel like I'm being harassed by a fleet of squirrels in front of me.
We could do that. So, for those of you that have not met Mark,
I've got the squirrel town here. I'll bash it with the squirrel town.
So, obviously, you've heard from Jules a little bit about Mark before we started into the actual interview. And again, we're just going to ask Mark some questions. He's going to give us some interesting answers. And of course, as always, there will be a fun fact. And Mark will reveal at the end of this interview what that fun fact is. But before we get there, let's crack on. Jules, let's start. Let's get it underway.
So we're going to start with the same question we usually start with. So how did you get into dancing?
Well, are we talking Ceroc dancing or just dancing?
Dancing in general and Ceroc dancing. Let's go with both.
I think dancing for me started in school when we was really young. It was kind of like put upon us at a very young age in primary school. We had to learn our kind of Ceilidh dances and Strip the Willow, Gay Gordons, the St Bernard's Waltz. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
And many others, and it was quite good fun actually. And I think I just seen the fun side to dance from a very early age. That kind of developed as I kind of hit my teens, kind of rebelled a little bit against partner dancing, got into break dancing. It's kind of like a big thing for me when I was a kid. Really loved it. Kind of life took over. I got my apprenticeship and then started work, and then kind of drifted away from dance. But later on, got back into it again through other partner dances. Tried salsa. Tried Argentine tango, and then I found Ceroc.
And was it love at first sight with Ceroc or not?
I found it odd at first because I was learning these other partner dances where I was learning to use my feet, and then when I met, it was like I was being told there was no footwork, so it was kind of I found it a little bit confusing, but I found it good fun to be fair, and the inspiration came from kind of like me and my friends visiting Club 100 in London, and through watching other swing dancers and people saying that they were attending Ceroc classes, and through my friends like dragging me to one, was how I kind of got into Ceroc, to be fair.
Yeah. Were you dragged to your first Ceroc class then?
I wouldn't say dragged, but kind of like it was new to me and I didn't really know too much about it. So yeah, it was a bit curious, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I think once I got into it, I quite enjoyed it. And I think just it being such a kind of open dance style, where there wasn't really a lot of rules, to be fair. And I think that's why I kind of embraced it, to be fair.
How did you find that? Because I know I'm from a salsa background myself, and I know that a lot of dancers who've started with things that have got sort of rigid footwork patterns and then moved to Ceroc, they find that challenging, that suddenly that it's so much freer.
Yeah, it's super challenging. I mean, so much so that, I kind of...
This is going to be the best interview ever because we've had so many technical issues with Mark. And either now he's lagged or we've lost him. So we've
lost him completely. Oh, bless.
This could be one of the first truly edited videos. So I'm just gonna see if we've lost him or not. He's still there, but
we lost you. You're back. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, Mark. Oh yes, we did say for the just before we carry on, folks. It's taken us an unbelievable... We supposed to have started this almost 40 minutes ago, and it's taken us that long to get Mark online, and we're like 4-5 minutes in, and we've lost him. So, yay. Great. Anyway, if it happens again, it happens again. We'll just be lots of editing. Anyway, carry on.
So going back to where we were talking about how you found it, sort of going from a dance style that had footwork to moving into something that was a lot freer, and how that was for you.
Yeah, it was rather odd actually, and yeah, I kind of asked a lot of questions to the teacher at the time about, like why, footwork wasn't important. Don't really think I ever got a real answer to that, to be fair. But yeah, I kind of embraced it, and I kind of thought, well, just go with the flow and see where it takes me, and yeah, I quite enjoyed it, to be fair.
And how old were you when you first came to Ceroc?
Oh, I think I would have been a very young 27/28 at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, 20, about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And London was my my first venue. Was in
London. Yeah.
I think.
Do you remember which one in London?
Do you know what? I knew you were going to ask me that. And I was racking my brains, and I was like, where was the first one? I think it was Russell Square Gardens.
Wow.
I think.
Yeah.
And do you remember your first teacher?
I think Victor Ndiki was the guest teacher that night.
Oh, so yeah, gosh, that's a good memory to remember a guest. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Excellent.
So such a long time ago now.
Yeah, it seems like a long time. Yeah. So obviously you got into Ceroc, you got dancing, you got along, and that's great. And then of course, while we're talking about free to teacher, at some point you became a teacher. So where and when did that happen?
So interestingly, that was an interesting journey in its own right, because I initially did a teacher's audition. I think it was 2004, and I failed my audition. I just wasn't prepped. And yeah, I was like a rabbit caught in headlights, to be fair, on the audition. And the reason for that is because there was a very young chap just starting out at the same time as me called Tim Sant.
I think I've heard of him.
Tim Sant was very prepared, like he always is. And he stepped up, did his introduction, and then the rest of us who were sat watching Tim turned and looked at one another to think, crikey, we've got to match that.
You're very pale all of a sudden. Oh God.
And I think we all crumbled at that point. And that was so. Anyway, so but they always say that the second time, if you passing your second time makes you better at what you do, right?
Yeah.
So I went back a second time, and passed my audition, which was a bit later on down the line, which was 2008. Felt a lot more confident in my ability to teach. And so it was about 2008 when I actually became a teacher for Ceroc.
And can you remember where your first venue was you started teaching?
Yep, that was the Davy in Sheffield. So Ceroc UK was the franchise back then. Callie Fraser would have been my first demo.
Oh, nice little shout out there for Callie. Lovely.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So where did you go on from there? Because obviously now you're a teacher, and give us a little bit more background of where you've gone in the world of Ceroc.
Oh wow!
I know you've done a lot.
Yeah, you've done a fair bit.
Yeah, so I have travelled length and breadth of the UK. So I've taught many workshops, like for various franchisees from Ceroc Scotland, which breaking that down could have been for Edinburgh, it could have been for Aberdeen.
Oh, have we lost him again?
Coming down through Newcastle, the Midlands, Norfolk, Wales, London, you name it, every corner of the UK. And then obviously I had my spell teaching classes and workshops and for Medfest in Spain. Was meant to be teaching in France this year. Pete knows about that one.
Yeah,
it was meant to be there.
Yeah, we were supposed to be going. Is it next week? We no, actually
2 weeks.
It would
Really?
well because this video goes out on a particular date. I think it's the week after or the same weekend. I can't remember, but I'm not going to worry about the math. But yeah, we were both supposed to be going to France on the same weekend, and it's all been cancelled. So big shout out to Isabella over in Ceroc, France. Sorry we can't be there. Maybe
we'll be there next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
Next year. So yeah, I would say that I've been pretty well travelled and delivered many workshops. It's been like, oh no, I'm still here. I'm just hiding.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so definitely. This.
We're going to have to edit this interview because
I think this is going to be my most favourite interview of the lot. This is going to be my most favourite interview of the lot because it's just every now and then you freeze, Mark, or the audio changes or something. It's brilliant. Okay.
I like a good freeze.
So tell us a little bit about the Welsh Champs, because I have very fond memories of coming down and competing at the Welsh Champs.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I certainly remember an invasion from the Fleet Swirls, that's for sure. Yeah, I think it started the journey with that back in, that would have been about 2010 now. So it's definitely hit a decade. And yeah, it was quite a journey, to be fair. From moving from our first venue, which was in Cardiff Bay at the Coal Exchange, and then we took it to Barry, where it's now at the Memorial Hall. And it's it's kind of like, it's definitely maintained its value at the Memorial Hall, and it's definitely delivered a good, I would say, like a good few memories for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think one of my favourite memories would have been the Pimp My Table, where everyone turned up. and they decorated their tables, and I think there was so many squirrels. I think you kind of took up 2 tables.
We had 2 tables that year.
2 or 3? I thought okay, just 2. Maybe
probably
just
3.
2.
Probably 3. You probably hijacked someone else's, to be fair.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone decorated their tables, and that was a really fond memory of mine. I really enjoyed that. It was, it's a real.
That was a good one. That was definitely a good year.
Yeah.
It was certainly a real treat. So yeah, and it is. I'm really, I think, quite proud to have been part of it and privileged, and yeah, to have seen so many memories created there. So yeah, it was a real honour.
And I know you've done a fair bit of competing and performing in cabarets and things yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about your background with that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely done a fair share of competing. So from north to south, yeah, I've competed in the Scottish Champs a few times. Won the Open a couple of times.
Excellent.
Great bunch of people up there. Great judges. Done a couple of cabarets up there also. Great fun. I would always recommend anybody who ever gets invited into a cabaret team, get involved. Brilliant. Also, first Aerials showcase was up there as well with my partner Claire Warren at the time. Amazing. So I really enjoyed that. Good memory for me. Yeah, and then I think I took part in all the other competitions. I think did the Midlands Champs. I think I won that as well. We won that. We won. Yeah. Just not me. There's more than one, isn't there?
Yeah. It's all about you. It's all about you.
You are just interviewing me to be fair.
Yeah.
The London Champs a few times, and won the categories, and the Open that I was in, the age category thing that they do.
Yeah.
Won Double Trouble in London. Love Double Trouble.
Yeah.
I've got a passion for
Actually, Double Trouble reminds me, there's for those of you that don't know, and I think we need to dig the clip out, and I probably will, there's a fabulous Double Trouble routine of you, and I think it was LMFAO? Was it Rock This Party? Or
possibly with Lindsay and Heather Lawson.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to dig that out. I have seen it, and it's awesome. It's an awesome Double Trouble. I think it was it Canberra?
You're a bit good at Double Trouble.
It was Canberra, and it would have been roughly about, I think we were promoting the Welsh Champs a little bit, which I'm sure people will gather from like the video, but I think it might have been about 2012.
It is out there, and I think I'll have to find it. Maybe put it in the U Rock section.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. Excellent. Cool. So on the that's a lovely bit of background on you competing in history, and obviously it's a very rich and very varied one. So now we'd like to move a little bit away from Ceroc and say, tell us a little bit about Mark, the non-dancer. What do you get up to? Do you have any other hobbies or anything like that that might be of interest to people?
I would say that, to be fair, I think dancing pretty much, took over my life when I first started 20 years ago. Hobbies that I suppose it used to be a passion for me was things like cycling.
Okay.
And cycling was a big thing back in my day. I used to do a lot of cycling. And I'm kind of like a bit all or nothing, as wine gums or champagne. So when I was into my cycling, it was just my cycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then into dancing, it was just dancing.
All dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose my career takes up quite a bit of what I do. Oh.
Even better.
Sorry guys, my phone is ringing. You can't believe it, can you?
I can.
You can't make it up.
To be honest, the way this interview's gone, nothing would surprise me right now.
The doorbell's going to ring in a minute. You wait.
Yeah. I'm leaving all this in, by the way, so don't worry. So, so you were saying about your career.
So yeah, and I think with my career path over the last 10 years, that's been a little bit of a hobby as well, because I take pride in what I do, and it's kind of like
tell us what it is, because not
industry
everybody
and
watching this knows you. So what is it that you do?
So I'm involved with renewable energy storage systems, which involves working with products with Tesla, electric vehicle charging infrastructures.
Very cool.
And the technology behind it's quite interesting, because it's always developing and it's always changing. And we are all about obviously reducing the world's CO2 and nitrogen dioxide emissions from vehicles. So the electric vehicle charging infrastructure is quite a big thing at the minute in the UK. So yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's quite exciting industry to be in at the moment. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, huge. And we've been involved in projects with various celebrities. One of them is Robert Llewellyn at the minute. We did.
Oh, you gone again?
I love this interview. You can't script it. There he is. Hello.
Hi there.
Oh, he's back.
He's gone again.
So we heard Robert Llewellyn.
But where do we start on that one again?
So we were just saying, welcome to the show, Mark. And
so I was saying about the industry. We got involved with a few celebrities recently. One of them being Robert Llewellyn, runs a site called the Full of Charge Show on YouTube.
Okay.
And he was one of the characters actually on Red Dwarf. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I know. And Scrap Wars. Yeah.
He narrated Scrap Heap Challenge. That's right, exactly. Right. And we did a video with him recently on YouTube regarding products. So you can also see my face on there as well on the Full of Charge Show regarding the technology that we put in his home with Tesla and some other wacky products.
Cool. Cracking. Well, we are almost coming to that time of the interview, amazingly. Thank God. What? I'm just in my head. I'm thinking, this is going to be the biggest edit I've got to do. God, blimey. Anyway, before we ask you your fun fact, Tim, I'm having. It's catching. It's catching.
It's interesting you say that, because I had deja vu earlier on that you were going to do that. How was that?
And the best bit is, I'm the one that sees your name on the screen in front of me for the entire interview, because the way I've set it up. That's quality. Absolute quality. But it was such an easy mistake to make, Mark.
Mark, and Tone. Mark and Tone.
Similar names, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So,
I think you can come with you like any day. It's fine.
yeah. So
Easy, there you go.
before we get you to reveal your fun fact, Mark, we're going to do our quick fire round. God blimey,
We hope.
which is amazingly unscripted, and you're not prepared for it. So, but you've seen the format. We ask you a question, and it's an either or question, either or answer anyway. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get through this little section and I won't have to edit anything. So here we go. I'll start us off. Okay.
Ready.
Go on then.
Ready.
Silk or Ceroc?
Ceroc.
Double trouble or single partner?
Oh, come on, that's a no-brainer. Double trouble.
Welsh or London champs? I don't believe it.
He's either thinking about it for a really long time,
or we've lost him.
or we've lost him again.
I think this is the pinnacle of our interview career. I just don't think it's going to get any better than this. I know we've had Tim Sant, and I know we've had Steve Thomas, and I don't want to say it's gone downhill because it hasn't. If anything, it's gone through the roof. It's the best interview yet. Well,
some kind of pause there for my return back.
That's okay. I think we jinxed it trying to get through it in one go.
We totally jinxed that.
Let's try the whole thing again. Okay, hold on. I've got to get the questions back from me. Okay, I'll go first. Quick fire round. Take 2. Silk or Ceroc?
Ceroc.
Double trouble or single partner?
Oh, double trouble, easy, all day long.
Welsh or London champs?
Well, I had a little bit of time to think about this, didn't I?
Yeah.
Welsh champs.
Tango or funk?
Oh, that's mean. That is mean. Oh my God. It'll be funk.
Okay. Dance with a stranger or fixed partner?
I've danced with a stranger all day long.
Southport or Canberra?
Southport.
Oh, that was a quick answer.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah, cool. Right. Well, fantastic. Guess what? It's time for fun fact time. So those of you that have been obviously having a look and trying to work out what it is out of the 3 facts we put up there, Mark is now about to reveal his fun fact. Mark, take it away.
Okay, so the fun fact was I was part of breaking a world record in 2006 with Strictly Come Dancing.
Woohoo!
Ta-da! Hurrah! Hurrah! And I didn't have to edit that bit. We didn't have a problem. Oh,
We got a bit.
righty. Well, it just goes without saying, Mark. I was saying when we lost you that this has been one of the best and funniest interviews for me personally because of all the techie issues we've had, and whether we planned it or not, it's just been hilarious. And thank you ever so much for taking half of your night out to come and do this little interview. It was quite funny. I made a joke the other week with Tim Sant Turner about like, oh yeah, he gets like 5-10 minutes of fame and he's been on for an hour and a half. We genuinely have been on for so long. It's definitely if I left the whole thing up and running, it would be the longest. We wouldn't need the show. This is the show. If I'd have hit record when we first started getting in touch with you, the entire show would have been just this. It would have been just brilliant. Honestly, it's taken longer than the normal show just to do this interview.
This shows exactly why we don't do the interviews live.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you'd lose your audience pretty quickly.
Yeah. But I'm obviously going to do a little bit of editing. Again, I just basically will end before we lose him completely. Mark, it's been an absolute joy and a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for coming along.
It's been great chatting to you, Mark. Lovely. Thank you.
My pleasure. Nice to see you all.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks ever so much. Take care. Ta, mate.